Louisville is a team that just wears you down over the course of a game. But our players fought and competed so hard for 3 quarters. And I think they just wore us down by the 4th quarter. And we stopped doing what we needed to do offensively with ball movement, shot selection. I think when we came out down 10, they scored on the first possession. I think we just played a little frantic in the 4th quarter, and they capitalized every time we missed a shot, and they just picked up the pace. But for 3 quarters, our players defended, they moved, they were active, they communicated. We knew coming in it was going to be a battle, how physical they are with rebounding the basketball. We went a little bit bigger, bringing Kara Judkins off the bench. And I thought she gave us great minutes playing with Callista Walters. But Yassine had a great performance, scoring the basketball. It was our most consistent offensive weapon throughout the night. Unfortunately, foul trouble hindered her a little bit, being on the bench. But, they're good. Give them all the credit. They're very good. They're deep. They can score in so many ways. But they just are relentless with their pressure. And I thought Jasmine Whitney did a great job of handling the basketball for the most part. But they just disrupt everything you do. I mean, they pick and choose when they want to trap, when they switch, when they deny you, putting pressure on you. But, it's a great battle and a great test for us. We have to play this team again, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll learn from this game moving forward and continue to get better with our 2-3 zone.
Susie, the zone is a relatively recent thing that you've been putting in, I guess, and the girls said that they seem to be more confident in playing that kind of defense. What have you seen with its effectiveness?
Well, I think with, when we're taking a step back and we've gotten into conference and, watching ourselves, we are defending, for the first option, second option, third option, fourth option, all the way, and then all of a sudden an on-ball screen comes out of the blue or dribble penetration happens and we're forced to rotate. We're giving up offensive rebounds. We're fouling. We're getting in more foul trouble than we have been in the zone. And it was just, our hands are tied at that point. So when we were looking at evaluating us, that, we need to make something happen. We need to make some changes. And so we've implemented the zone more. And I'm watching us, when we're active and we're communicating and keying on players we need to. Still, the rebounding aspect of it is an issue with us because without Danielle Garvin, we went with 2 post players a lot tonight with Kara and Callista, but we've moved Yassine to the 4. And so we're starting 4 guards, and we end up being a little bit smaller. But I think they've bought into the 2-3 zone. For 3 quarters, it's a 10-point game with the number 2 team in the country. And you're making them take time off. You're making them work within the 2-3 zone. Our struggles can still come offensively, but maybe with running out of a 2-3 zone, if we can get stops, teams now have to try to get matched up with us running out of the zone that, we can maybe score some points in transition. But, we're just going to continue to work on it and hopefully continue to get better doing it.
One of the pitfalls of that defense can be someone gets a hot shooter and they can shoot over the top of it. They have one of the best 3-point shooters in the country in Asia Duran. You were able to keep her well below her scoring average. What was the game plan for her specifically?
Well, with the offensive sets, just like we did when teams were running man, you study what they run against the zone, and we watch it on film. We go over it on the court, and that's what coming into this game. The one thing that I talked about is, when we play this 2-3 zone. And we've talked about how we are going to defend. I want us to go out there and look prepared. Like, we know exactly what is coming. Teams will hit shots. Players will make plays. They'll get offensive rebounds. They'll score. But at least we need to defend and know what is going to happen. And it comes with communication. And whatever they run, Asia Dur can be in any one of the spots. And anywhere she was on the floor, we needed to key on her. But, the thing with paying so much attention to her, you have other players that can hit shots. That's how dangerous this team is. No one really went off on us and scored a significant amount of points, but each and every player contributed, scoring inside and out. I mean, they're deep, they're talented, they can all score, but I certainly didn't want to be a team where she was scoring 40 points against us.
Coach, you talked about Kara Judkins before. 28 minutes, by far the most that she's gotten this season. Was that a game plan coming in that you expected, or was it something that you saw early when you inserted her into the lineup that you felt that you had to roll with her?
Well, we felt, early on when we were getting killed on the boards, we needed to go a little bit bigger. And Kara has been practicing very well for us. She had been sick, and she wasn't cleared to play in some of those games when she wasn't dressed. And so now she's finally starting to feel better, and she's getting her conditioning back. And 28 minutes was a lot. Fatigue had become a factor for her. I think she got a little tired. I had to burn a timeout in the second quarter, and I ran out of timeouts, but had to make a substitution to get her off the floor. But we just felt like we needed to get some size on the floor, and it gave us a different look. And I thought she did a great job of rebounding the basketball and battling with them, because it's a physical game. When you play Louisville, they wear you down, and they're very physical inside at both ends of the floor.
How are Louisville able to stop you guys, especially in the fourth quarter, and basically do anything offensively on the defense?
Well, I think it's what they did in the first three quarters that really did the damage, because I think in the fourth quarter we started settling. And Yassin, to me, is at her best when she's attacking the basket, she's off the dribble, and when fatigue becomes a factor, Yassin will start settling for threes and perimeter or contested shots, and just changes the way she plays. And we need her to continue to be aggressive and attacking the basket. And I thought across the board we started settling, taking shots where we weren't in position to rebound, and then they just capitalized. They started getting transition baskets, and I think it was 18-0 before we even scored in the fourth quarter. So I tried to call a timeout, and it was too late. A turnover had already happened. I just think they wore us down, and they started denying Jasmine Whitney. Cassidy Walsh is now handling the ball. We didn't get into offense like we needed to, and it just changed. The whole complexion of the game changed the first 3 minutes of that fourth quarter.
How has Yassin been able to improve her ability to score the basketball over her career? It's to the point right now where she's last 5 games really a very productive offensive player for you. It seemed like when she was a freshman, sophomore, that was there in spurts, but not like it has been at this point.
Ironically, we talk about this all the time, and she hates it, because when Danielle Garvin got hurt with a concussion, or when she has even just not even hurt, but when she has come off the floor, we move Yassin to the 4 spot, and that is where she is at her best. And we as coaches talk about it all the time, that she is at her best at the 4 spot, when she is surrounded by shooters who can stretch the defense, and she has one post player on the floor, and she's able to create, and we run things for her in those situations. That's when she's at her best, and she gets caught up in a number all the time. I said, I'll say, Yassin, I can put someone else at the 4, because everything I'm calling is run for that position if you would like to move to the guard spot. But now she's had to really learn 2 positions. She was strictly learning the guard position, and now we're trying to run things for her in a different position. But that's where I think she's most natural, and she's at her best. And that has a lot to do with her scoring. If you watch us when we have 4 guards on the floor, that's when she's at her best.
She's not really a big player for that spot in this league. She's always been physical. Do you feel like that part of her nature just sort of fits into that?
Well, I think you're forcing a post player to guard her, and I think she's athletic enough. And when we move the ball and we make plays within our offense, she can attack a post player off the dribble and get to the rim, or she can drive in with a little step back or her little pull-up jumper, and we run on-ball screens, and she's always involved in the play. So it's just something that she has been successful doing in this year in particular, because we bring 3 freshman post players off the bench.
When you guys play Louisville again, what do you think are some things you're going to work on both offensively and defensively to slow Louisville down?
Well, I think just not the chaos that they create, of not allowing them to continue to create it for 40 minutes. And I think we need to be a little more disciplined. And hopefully by the time I don't even know when we play them again, but fatigue doesn't become a factor. But, you know, we need contributions. One thing we talked about in the locker room is we need contributions from, you know, some other guards need to step up, need to be able to hit shots for us and make plays. You know, we're not a team that can rely on 2 or 3 people just to carry us scoring-wise. You know, we need multiple players to score. I thought, you know, Callista Walters hadn't even attempted a shot, and we started running things to try to get the ball inside, and we needed, you know, she being undersized, we kept trying to throw over the top, and we were throwing the ball out of bounds, and now we're trying to throw them, you know, the high-low pass in the middle of the floor or off of reversals, and we weren't patient enough at times to allow that to happen, and going into the second half, it was an emphasis of trying getting her touches on the block. So, you know, we definitely need an inside presence with Callista. Yassine needs to continue to score. Jasmine is someone, you know, didn't take a lot of shots tonight, but when she's a scorer for us, we're a much better team.
Callista, it seemed like they were really focused on fronting you and not letting you get the ball. How frustrating was that for you, and how do you feel like you were able to deal with that?
It gets frustrating sometimes because, you know, when teams try to take you out to play, you know, it's all mental. But I think towards the end, you know, we just made sure that we could make that pass. And then if I did get the ball in, I just made sure I could get it to my shooters on the wings, and they hit the shot. So it worked out in the end.
Yassine, you got off to such a hot start. You went 7-7 to start the game.
Mm-hmm.
What was your mentality coming in to get you going and get you off on the right foot to start the game?
My mentality was just like to keep pushing, and I knew I was like efficient, so I was like, this is not the time to let like loose. So I was just trying to come out the third quarter and just try to push it up.
Seen in general, your scoring average is way up from 2 years ago. What do you feel like has gone into that? You know, the work you put in recovering from your injury, or just why do you think you're having such a better year this year scoring?
I mean, I can say like I've been working on my games a lot, and also with the help of my teammates, they know like how to get me open, when to pass me the ball, and you know, I've been able like to really work on my game and just be able to score the ball more and be more efficient and be more of a like bring something like more into this team.
What was the hardest part about Louisville's defense, especially towards the end of the second half when it seemed to clamp down on you guys?
The hardest part definitely is that they're, you know, high tempo and they're pressuring the ball. And I know Jasmine had to fight her way to get the ball up every possession of the game, and it just it's different and it's very tiring at times. And I think that was the biggest issue with going against them.
You had held Asia Durr well below her scoring average. What do you feel like you were able to do defensively that worked there?
I just feel like our zone has been helping us a lot. I think when we play zone, we're more active, and you know, we're calling cutters, we're talking, and I think that's something that we didn't have in our man that, you know, was effective in keeping her below her average.
Early in the game, you guys had a lot of turnovers, especially in the first quarter, and it seemed to kind of, despite staying in the game, it started to slow down as it went on. What was kind of the talk after that first quarter? I think you had 10 turnovers in the first quarter. What did you guys do to adjust to that and start to make sure those numbers stay down?
I think it was just like we were kind of nervous going to the game, and it was just important for us like to take a deep breath and just realize, you know what, at the end of the day, this is just basketball. Just calm down, take a deep breath. We got this. But that was kind of like the talk, and we were like, we got to take care of the ball because like we were having those turnovers and they were making their shots. So we knew like we had to like take care more of the ball.
Louisville was obviously one of the best teams in the country. What do you guys think separates them from all the other teams we played this year and everyone else in the anyway?
Probably turnovers. Yeah, definitely. You know, I think they take every possession as it is, and they don't make those mistakes. I think as a team, we have to come out and perform every night, and we have to limit those turnovers because we can't afford to make them, you know.
Also, we have to work on our offensive rebound because it's like every team we play in the ACC, they out-rebound us. So that's something definitely we need to work on because we don't have height. So, yeah.